Hey, welcome to Playing for Keeps, the show where we take a deep dive into dating, love, relationships, sex, and attachment theory. Your host, DJ, will be hosting Dating Chronicles, where she has guests come on the show and give a funny, crazy, or romantic dating story. Tune in if you need a laugh, hear something romantic, or maybe hear someone else's experience to help you grow in your relationship journey.
Hey everybody, it's your girl DJ with Playing for Keeps podcast, and today I have a special guest for Dating Chronicles, Sean Garvey. How are you today?
I am doing good, DJ, Dominique, what's going on? Sean Garvey here. You just said my birth name, Sean Garvey, but it's Sean Garvey.
Oh my God, I am so sorry.
No, apologize. It's okay. Some people say my birth name on the air at times. I don't want, and I'd be like, why you must have met me when we were. You must have met me at the unemployment office back in the day.
Right, just shouting your whole government. I'm sorry, honey. I'm doing okay for a Tuesday. Work was kind of crazy today. I'm ready for Friday already, but
I am too.
Yeah.
I hope I dressed okay to the podcast, because right now I'm looking like I'm at a book signing for a Christian bookstore.
No, you look good. No, okay, you look pretty good. I feel like I'm kind of dressed down. I got sweats and a Rugrats.
I like the Rugrats. I like the Rugrats shirt there. Yeah.
I would turn around, but I don't want the headphones to show you the whole back. I got the whole crew on the back of my shirt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a throwback right there. Right. Shout out to Nickelodeon. We grew up on Nickelodeon. Right.
So you are here to give us a crazy, funny, or romantic dating story. What do you have for us today? Or what stories do you have for us?
I have plenty of stories, but because of the length of time on this podcast, I'm probably going to only share one dating story. And I've been torn because we talked offline about it. I'm torn between one story and then another one I had years later after that. But I think the one date story that comes to my mind out of the rest is my prom date from senior year. Was it senior year? No, I take that back. From my junior year. It was my junior year in high school.
Okay.
It was my junior year in high school. And an old friend of mine from back in the day, he put me up with this young lady at the time who I had never seen before. So this was going to be like a blind date situation. And me and this young lady at the time, we talked on the phone. We never seen each other. And this was before smartphones, Dominique, because back in the day, I just only had those prepaid phones that didn't come with the... Yeah, they didn't come with the cameras and all that.
Right.
Yeah, I had those prepaid phones, but I used my mother's house phone to talk to this individual.
Okay.
Because with the prepaid phones, you can only do so much. You know what I mean?
Right.
You lose minutes and all that other stuff. So I was talking to this young lady. She was talking to me. We got to know each other over the phone, and I didn't have a date to the prom. Actually, to go back into the story real quick, it was actually my senior year in high school, not my junior year, because I had two prom dates. I went to my junior prom date and I went to my senior prom date.
Okay.
But the young lady that I took to the prom date, she did not go to the school I attended in my senior year. So she was about a couple of years or maybe a year or two older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But making a long story short, I asked her to be my prom date, and she was like, yeah, okay, cool. Because I couldn't get anybody else to go to the prom with me. And then I did a double date with another old friend of mine from back in the day. He had his date, and we went to go pick my date up at her house. She came to the door, and let's just say that she didn't like what she saw.
What?
She didn't like what she saw. She thought she was going to get a Morris chestnut.
Well, ended
up looking at a broke Akon. before he became rich.
You know what? I can't.
She was like, Negro, what? Because I had on eyeglasses. I had glasses on.
Okay.
I was a little bit more skinnier than I am now, but I was looking fresh. I had on my suit. I had on my tux. I had on my bow and everything. But she just wasn't attracted to me at all. But we still proceeded on with the date. But she was just very unhappy. She was very unhappy. So to try to make it quick as possible, the date went from picking her up. We didn't hardly speak to each other. We went to, I want to say, was it Golden Corral? I want to say it was Golden Corral. Mm-hmm. We went to Golden Corral and she was like, why are we going to the Golden Corral? I'm like, why are you looking at me? I didn't choose this place. My friend did.
That's what I say. Yeah, who chose the place? And that was a twist. I thought you was gonna say you didn't like what you saw. Oh wow.
No. She was attractive. She was attractive. She had on her dress and everything. She was attractive. So I the chemistry started off rocky when we first met. Of course, by way of physical. Not saying I was fully attracted to her, because in order for me to be fully attracted to you, you have to have a great personality.
Got you.
And so we went to Golden Corral. I was about to say Cracker Barrel because I get those two restaurants mixed up at times.
It's so easy to do, right?
I know, right? So we went to the Golden Corral and we went to go get our seat and our food and stuff. And, the vibe was just off. I pulled out my prepaid phone and she looked at me crazy. She's like, what kind of phone is that?
Wow. She just felt very uncomfortable. It was so noticeable in the restaurant that the other patrons noticed it. Even the waitress noticed it. Oh, wow. But y'all chemistry was good on the phone, though. Y'all hit it off on the phone, right?
It was cool. It was copacetic. It wasn't romantic or anything. It was copacetic. It was like two friends talking on the phone. Right. But the energy was so off. From the time we picked her up at her house to the Golden Corral. Gotcha. So we went from the Golden Corral. We ate our food there, and we went from the Golden Corral to this place to take our prom pictures. Me and the date did not take our prom pictures. My friend and his date did, but we did not.
What happened?
Yeah. What happened was I was on the phone with my friend Keisha. Shout out to Keisha, by the way, because she was the one I went to my junior prom with.
Okay.
And I told Keisha what went down so far. I was like, Keisha, this is going to be the worst date. Like, I'm gonna kill my homie when I see him. So we went there. We didn't take no pictures or anything. We didn't take no prom pictures. So we went from there to the actual prom itself. We went to this location. We didn't go to the school because the school didn't have the prom there. It was at a different venue. Okay. So we went there. We went over to the table, and I just sat down and I just asked her, like, yo, listen, if you didn't feel like coming, why did you come anyway? And she was just so irritated by that question. She just like, I don't want to talk about it right now. I just
What?
Yeah, she's just like, hey, I ain't trying to hear you. And I was like, all right, cool. So what ended up happening was I got out the table. I ended up dancing with two other women. One of them in which I asked to the prom, she turned it down because she was going to go to the prom with another guy. But I ended up dancing with two women, not at the same time. I wish though, but not at the same time. It was like the taking turns type of thing. So the date that I brought to the prom with, we didn't dance at all. She was just at the table chilling. She may have gotten a guy's number or something. I don't know. I didn't care at that point.
Right.
But I ended up having a good time without her at the prom. And at the end of the night, we just dropped her off, and that was it. And I look back, and to this very day, because that was back in high school. So we're talking about 2002, and it's 2020.
Wow. Yeah, 18 years. Wow.
Yeah. That's a long time
And
ago.
you never got an answer from your friend or from her, like on why she was being so funny. Like, especially if it was on some friend type stuff on the phone. It wasn't like y'all were romantic, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't really get the closure. I go off of speculation. I just go off the fact that she just didn't find me attractive at the time. She didn't find me attractive.
That's crazy. So what I like to ask people when they give us what would you say you learned from that? I'm sure you went on more blind dates after that, but
You know what? That's a great question because I told my friend Jamal about the situation, and I do remember him telling me like, "Hey, look, Sean, why didn't you just meet up with the young lady before you all went on the actual date? Because if you all had met up in person before the actual date, like maybe go to the mall and meet up there or something like that, you'll get her vibe in person than over the phone. Because I tell people this, it's one thing to get a certain type of vibe from a person on the phone, but then it's a different kind of vibe when you meet that person in person, especially back in the day, Dominique, DJ, we didn't have smartphones. We didn't have smartphones where you can exchange photos before you actually meet the person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have smartphones. We just went off by, okay, this person got a good chemistry, a good vibe. Let's see what he looks like, or let's see what she looks like in person. That was what a blind date was,
Gotcha.
So that was one of the lessons that I learned. And, too, I guess you got to start asking people the hard questions, like what kind of guys are you into? What's your physical preference? That sort of thing, I guess she was into dope boys at the time. Cause she just gave me that, she gave me that kind of vibe too. Looking back at it, she kind of gave me that vibe that she was into dope boys or dudes that ran the streets back in the day.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think the story also says a lot about you and your self-esteem within yourself too back then, because I feel like a lot of guys like in your predicament just would have, I don't think they would have reacted the way you did. Like you just moved on and danced with other females and had a good night anyway. A lot of people would have just let that night destroy them. So yeah, kudos to you for that. For real.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you just look back and you laugh at it. 19, 20 years ago, you be like, man, this is the worst day of my life. Hey, mama. And then 19, 20 years later, it's like, who got the last laugh? That sort of thing. So, yeah. But shout out to Rosalind, by the way. That's the young lady's name that I went on the prom date with. Her name is Rosalind. I never knew. I know her last name, but I'm not going to put her fully on blast.
All the way out there like that.
But yeah, Rosalind. I wonder what she's up to these days. She's probably a changed woman. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. But since then, me and her never spoken to each other ever again.
Wow. Okay. That was a good story. We do have more time if you do have another story that you felt you had to really learn something from.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You want me to pull another one out?
If you got another one.
If I got another one like DJ Khaled, another one.
Right, and another one. I'm just
I'm trying to think of, man, it's so plenty of them. Craziest date I've been on, I think one of the most craziest dates I have been on was this woman I met online. I met a woman on a online dating. I think it was a Black Planet, I believe.
Oh wow! Is that one still out?
Believe it or not, yeah.
Wow.
Believe it or not, but it's not as popping as the other like dating apps.
BLK and stuff. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. So I met this one woman years later, and we went to Applebee's. We went to Applebee's on our date and what have you. It was cool at first, and then I noticed that she is a smoker. I don't really care for too many smokers. I mean, if you smoke weed, that's a whole different story. But she's a smoker. And I remember she wanted me to go into the store and purchase some cigarettes for her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she wanted me to go in the store and purchase some cigarettes for her. I was like, I don't have no cash on me. especially since I paid for the date and what have you. So yeah, and she got in very antsy about certain things. It may have not been directed towards me, but she has that thing where she gets very antsy if she don't smoke no cigarettes or what have you.
I got a friend like that who gets agitated and angry, like if she doesn't have a cigarette. So I don't know if that's what you went through, but I know I can't be around this friend if she don't have cigarettes.
Yeah, she was like a fiend. Like I gotta have that hit. I gotta have that hit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So after we got the cigarettes or what have you, I'm thinking that the night is about to be over, or I don't know what else we were gonna do. But she but she asked me if I could drive her to her sister's house. I was like, okay, cool. Where does her sister live? She said, she lives in Macon.
That's a far
Macon,
commute.
Georgia? Like, you wait a minute. You Macon Street or Macon, Georgia? She wanted me to drive her to her sister's house, like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours away from where we were at.
Wow.
On our date. Yes.
This is your first time meeting her?
This was my first time meeting her. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You must have instilled a lot of trust in her.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was some red flags that she showed me after we left from Applebee's.
Okay.
Especially when she went in and got the cigarettes. Because my first initial thing was to leave her where she was at. And what I mean by that is while she was in the store, in the gas station, the convenience store to get her cigarettes, I should have went into the car, turned the key in the ignition, and drove off.
See, you're a gentleman. You
Damn that. Damn that. Nah, damn that. I'm telling you, ladies, listen. You all would have done the same thing if you was in the driver's seat and your man was acting crazy and he tell you, baby, hey, I got to go inside the store real quick. I'll be right back. And he's crazy. You don't know what he could be capable of doing. You would have done, ladies, you all would have done the same thing. DJ, you would have done the same thing. You're dealing with a crazy dude.
I know I've been in situations where have I ever left anybody? I've never left anybody, but now with the mind frame that I have now, if I feel endangered, yes, I will leave somebody in a heartbeat. If I feel endangered or if there's red flags and I know I'm never going to talk to that person again, I'm probably going to leave. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
So did you experience any red flags with this woman during the talking phase? Like, do you think you can you can see that before you actually meet them or no?
I think I would have saw some more red flags if the date, I just got through eating. I think I would have experienced some more red flags from her if we proceeded on with our outing. The biggest red flag to me out of the few that I shared with you is that she wanted me to drive her 2 hours away from where we were at to Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why would you ask somebody to drive you all the way 2 hours or 3 hours away from where you are at just so you can go to a family member's house, and you're going to do that on the first date?
Yeah, that's
really
crazy.
Like we don't know each other like that. And if we do, who's going to pay for gas?
Right. Like, yeah, that didn't make any sense. It definitely probably gives you a preview of what you're going to be dealing with if you did decide to move forward with her. So Let me ask you, since I got you on here, what do men look for in women, like when they're on these dating apps?
Well, I'll tell you this. I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, And I said to my friend that on these dating apps, the first thing we look for is the physical.
Yeah.
Without the physical, there wouldn't be a dating app, or there wouldn't be any dating apps that are out there right now. Because as people, as human beings, the first thing we see is the physical.
That's true.
And we go by physical. So the person that we see has to be attracted to what we're looking for. It has to have that idea look of what we're looking for. And then, and then there's the profile. There's the description of who this person is or potentially could be, and see if their profile matches to what we're looking for.
Okay.
But you have different kind of guys out there that have various agendas, and it just depends on, to answer your question, it just depends on what their agenda is when they get on these dating apps. You have guys out there that are probably just looking to just date and have a great time, they're not ready to settle down or be in a committed relationship. You have some others like myself. I'm ready to settle down and be in a committed relationship, but I'm also a person who believes in being friends first before going any further and getting to know the person. And then you have a percentage of guys that are out there that are just looking to smash. So if you are on a dating app and you come across a various selection of people, of women, and certain women that display themselves very provocative or whatever, the kind of energy you put out there is the same kind of energy you're going to get back. So if a certain guy out there is looking for a woman to smash, then you need to make that known in the profile and be transparent and honest as possible. Like, hey, look, I'm not looking to be in a serious relationship, just looking to hook up and whatever, just looking to have fun. So it's just all about what you're looking for, and the type of person who's ideal to you.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that, because I didn't know if even, like, I know men who are serious, they're looking like at the physical, but I wasn't sure if they really read through the profile and all of that stuff. I don't know why. Actually. Okay, so you actually read through the profile, see what the woman does.
I mean, it's half and half, especially for me. I have had situations where I would go on dating apps and I would, if I come across a woman who's very beautiful, mm-hmm. and I'm probably got other stuff that I have to do, I don't have time to read your profile, I just swipe right because you're attractive.
Okay.
And if you like me back, then that's when I will read your profile and see what I could potentially be getting myself into. Because like I said, we are all visual people, both men and women. We are all visual people. So I think I'm guilty of that. And if I'm going to continue to still be on these dating apps, I need to be very mindful. And this is just me talking to Sean Garvey. I need to just continue to be very mindful of actually reading other people's profiles before swiping right and what have you, because I would want somebody to read my profile before they like mine or before they swipe right.
Right.
Because I had situations before, sorry not to cut you off, I had situations before where I've had women that swipe right because they went off of physical appearance. And then if we match, we exchange conversation. And I asked them, hey, did you read my profile? Oh, no, I didn't. Let me go back and check. And then once they read their profile, I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that about you.
Oh, wow. I'm guilty of that too, though. I'm not going to lie. Like I'm guilty of not reading the profile sometimes as well. And then I'll go on like the person. If they do ask me, I won't message back until I read their profile. Right. And then I'll go back and so I'm guilty of that as well. And I know that's something I said that I was going to do better with if I was going to go back to dating apps and continue, was to make sure to read the profiles and make sure the person aligns with what I'm looking for. So I definitely agree with that. Okay. Let me ask you this. Where can the audience find you? And just tell us a little bit just about you, what you do, the projects you got going on.
I got so many projects going on. So of course, if you're familiar with my voice, you might have heard me on the Beat Break Morning Show, 6 to 10 a.m. weekday mornings on Beat Break 87 FM, Reach One Network, Podcast FM. I also am the host of BB Mobile Apps. It's a different kind of show outside of the Beat Break Morning Show that I share with DJ Rollum. BB Mobile Apps, I interview people who are professionals in the industry, and they are on to give listeners expert advice on how they can be successful in their profession. So that's the BB Mobile Apps podcast. The Beat Break Morning Show is more of a comical talk show. We've been doing the Beat Break Morning Show for so many years, coming up on our 11th year anniversary. So shouts to DJ Rollum and the whole crew, the Beat Break Morning Show. Plus, I'm getting ready to premiere Love and Poetry with Sharia Thomas, and it's going to be all things considered, dating and relationships talk. We definitely got to bring you on as a guest in one of our future shows. So all of that is on Beat Break 87 FM, Reach One Network, and we got a new app called Podcast FM. Black owned, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very great app. So far, we've been getting a lot of great reviews. But for more information, they can go visit the website, beatbreakradiofm.com. We also have another website, reachonenetwork.tv, for people to not only listen, but to also watch videos of some of the Beat Break radio shows that we are currently airing. So that's reachonenetwork.tv. And on social media, of course, we're all over the place, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Beat Break Radio. We also have Podcast FM. You can follow Podcast FM on social media, as well as Reach One Network on social media. Just Google radio personality Sean Garvey, or Google Reach One Network, or Google Beat Break 87 FM. But we're all over the place. I got some projects that I'm working on outside of radio. I'm getting ready to drop A Poet Is Dead in a couple of days from now. And I'm working on a screenplay right now called, actually it's a podcast. It's a scripted podcast called Unemployment Check, with a good few friends of mine in the radio and TV industry that are working on the project with me. So we just got a lot of great stuff coming out in 2021, and I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Wow. And all of the links will be in the show notes. So if anybody wants to check all of that out, you most definitely can. Oh,
by the way, before I forget too, I do have a personal page, of course, Sean Garvey ATL on Twitter, Instagram. I sometimes forget to mention that. Sean Garvey ATL on Twitter, Instagram, and Sean Garvey on Facebook.
Awesome. All of those links will be in the show notes. Sean, I want to thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. And I want to thank all of the listeners for tuning in. And until next time.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. If you liked this podcast, please download and subscribe. If there's anything you would like to talk about in regards to relationships, or would like to be a guest on the show to speak on relationships or get advice, you can always connect via social media at Playing for Keeps, or email DJ at info@p4kdating.com. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.